Hello and welcome. I'm Jon Garlick, and I'm here with Lieutenant Ronnie Murray, and this is Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Ronnie.
Uncle John.
It's so good to see you.
Again.
2 weeks in a row. Yeah. This is awesome. So, you've been busy, I know, and
always.
Your folks have been busy. Let's take a quick look at the count.
Now we got 4 more from last week, 5,014. Keep them coming.
That's a big number for you, 5,014.
They teach math at Pleasant Valley.
They do. They do. I didn't just think they went to 4 digits up there for you. I knew how hard it was. 4 people arrested, citizens of Calhoun County working really hard, and we appreciate it. So, summertime is closing in. Schools are about to get out.
Yes.
But,
well, I'd like to take just a couple of seconds to remind everybody the heat is here. Check your back seats.
Oh, yeah.
Last year there were 21 infant car deaths. There's been 2 reported so far this year. There's usually an average of about 38 per year of infant heat stroke related deaths in the United States.
In the United States. I was going to say, wow, Calhoun County, we know.
No, that's in the United States. If you're having any kind of trouble, you locked your keys in your car with your child in the car, call us. That's what we're here for. We'll come and make sure that we get that vehicle open.
There you go, folks. So watch the heat index, keep your windows down, watch who's in the back of your car. And if you have a problem, call 911 or the sheriff's office directly. And stay with us because we have one of our favorite guests back here on the show, and we have the first half of the lineup here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up this week, Joseph Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, last known to be living in Anniston. He is wanted for failure to appear on domestic violence, strangulation, and assault third. And we'd like you to meet Christopher Roach. Mr. Roach, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted for a probation violation on obstruction of justice by using a false identity. And take a look at Bradley Fincher. Mr. Fincher, last known to be living in Mumford. He's wanted on a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. And this is Eli Skorutchins. Mr. Skorutchins, last known to be living in Woodstock, Georgia. He's wanted for probation violation on robbery first. And meet Matthew Payne. Mr. Payne, last known to be living in Heflin. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana second, and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Meet Cheryl Carmack. Ms. Carmack, last known to be living in East Aboga. She's wanted for failure to appear on unlawful manufacture of a controlled substance. And this is Jose Mariano. Mr. Mariano, last known to be living in Ohatchee. He's wanted for a writ of arrest in trafficking cocaine. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that lineup that you know where they are. And if you do, call the sheriff's office. Tell Ronnie Murray he needs to go pick them up. We're back this week with the mayor of Hobson City, Alberta, McCrory. And, you know, I'm sure our guests are wondering, you know, Mayor, why are we on talking about Hobson City almost once a month? And that's because for me and you and Ronnie, Hobson City is historically significant.
Yes.
It majors historically significant. And we need to keep talking about it.
Yes.
But you're here probably for some more important reasons than that.
You know what? You're absolutely right, because we need to tell our story, and we are more than just the first black city in Alabama to govern ourselves. We're at that point in our history where it's so important for us to revitalize our community so that we can move forward. But first, I just want to thank you for your insight. And for you having me, because it really does make a difference.
I hope so.
It makes a difference. I've watched Most Wanted for a long time, off and on. Let's see who's on Most Wanted. So now when I tell people I'm on Calhoun County's Most Wanted, you know, for a good cause.
Some of them are saying it's about time, and some of them are saying, really? What are you doing?
Yeah. And so, to have this opportunity to get the information out about Hobson City and what we are doing. And I really want to acknowledge the president of my university, Dr. Killingsworth in Jacksonville State University. They are very helpful to us. They've loaned Earl Warren to us to help us through this process.
Oh, cool.
Because when we talk about raising $5 million, we got to have a plan.
Oh, yes.
We got to know what we got to do, who has to do it, and all of these little things that comes into play. So when I tell people, go ahead and laugh, but we've got a plan to make this happen, and to have partners like the Community Foundation. And Jennifer will come on with me one of these Tuesdays when I come out here. And so it's good to have the support of your community. People all around this community has watched Hobson City, you know, with its leaps and bounds. You know, we'll get better, and then we get worse, and we get better. And so we want to, this time, just get better and keep getting better, you know, with the things that we have planned. And to be able to work with our local planning, East Alabama Planning and Development, to have them to do the housing piece that we did a few years ago. Well, we need a different kind of housing piece to come in there. Now, when I say that, they've done renovations of old homes, but we're in the process now of getting some new homes in Hobson City.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I really want to talk about that, but I really want to, you know, just say how important it is to have partners that recognizes that you have a need, and as one human to another, you know, it's our responsibility to help lift up humanity. Well, and that's what I see happening with this process and with the things that have happened. And then I tell people, I'm just one of those crazy folks that I really believe in God. I really believe in God. Because I tell people about how when we did not have our own zip code and we were losing money to Anniston. And when I say that we were losing money, you know, some of the tax dollars that came in because of the zip code that is paid to the zip code. And we didn't have that identifying number that separated us from Anniston. And to apply for that number, and we didn't get a separate number, we just got an additional 4-digit identifier.
Okay.
And before we did that, when I contacted the post office in 2009, and they denied that request, well, I couldn't request that again for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So how is it that 10 years later, to the month that I was to apply, nothing on my refrigerator, nothing on the walls at City Hall to remind me that you are supposed to contact the post office again? And then I have this epiphany sitting there in the office, okay, it's time to talk to the Postal Service again. Call Birmingham. They started out with we can't do this kind of stuff. And I got my folder. And I'm not an organized person. I got my folder out from 10 years ago and began to explain to them and say, well, on such date I talked to this person. And this person said this, and I have the letter, you know, and this letter said this. And so they asked for some information, and I said no, because this was done some 20-something years ago, and I felt like it was just kind of running us around in circles. And, you know, the last conversation I had, I thought it was over and done with, that it was denied again. And then we get this letter to say that we've had a change of address. And so it's no longer Anniston, Alabama, 36201. It's Hobson City, Alabama, 36201-7534 or something like that. You know?
Fantastic. Well, we're going to take a break, but congratulations on that.
Absolutely.
And everything has to be hard work, doesn't it?
It
But we're going to be back with some more hard work for you with the second half of our lineup, and then back with our wonderful guest, the mayor of Hobson City. So stay with us here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Humberto Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear in trafficking cocaine. And take a look at Clay Coggins. Mr. Coggins, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted on a probation violation for burglary first. And this is Kenneth Haygood. Mr. Haygood, last known to be living in Oxford, he's wanted for failure to appear in unlawful distribution of a controlled substance. And this is Anna Jobran. Ms. Jobran, last known to be living in Huntsville, she's wanted on a probation violation for unlawful manufacture of a controlled substance, possession of a forged instrument first, and delivery and sale of drug paraphernalia. Take a look at Donald Sanders. Mr. Sanders, last known to be living in Pell City, he's wanted on a probation violation for assault second. And this is Tommy Surratt. Mr. Surratt, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for a probation violation on escape first. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you have any information on the whereabouts of these folks, please give Crime Stoppers a call. That number, 1-833-251-7867. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup. You know where they are. And if you did, call the Sheriff's Office. You call, they haul. We are here with the Mayor of Hobson City, Alberta McCrory, and Lieutenant Ronnie Murray from the Sheriff's Office. And, you know, we were talking off camera about the health of our small communities and how that is really a bellwether to the larger health of your overall community, right?
It is, absolutely.
And so it's wonderful to watch Hobson City start to grow again, and that's just we need to keep making that happen, right?
We absolutely do need to make that happen. And one of the things that I tell people when we talk about economic development, we're talking about health, you know, because that's one of those pieces that falls under the umbrella of economic development. Sometimes people think, you know, if you don't have the brick and mortar and things are not happening that they can see, but if you're taking care of your people to the extent that that they are healthy, you know, and that they have access to good health, that makes a difference. And that makes a difference in terms of their quality of life. If their quality of life is not, they're not moving up, you know, and in some instances, people are at a standstill. So, you know, as I stated, we may never have any big industries, you know, we're landlocked in. And my thing is, let's use what we have, the resources that we have. And one is that school building that we are renovating so that we can have businesses in that school building that's no longer used as a school. And when you move a school out of the community, it really makes an impact on the people in the community, because our schools, for us, we had the arts, we had our cultural events and everything. We had music and all of these things that we had, you know, that were, you know, really a part of the community. And without that, you can just see the, you know, the decline. And so we want to bring that back, you know, when we renovate the gym, you know, not just for basketball games, you know, but for any and everything that the community needs. And so this plan we're talking about, we're going to roll this plan out in August when we have the Mayor's Heritage Banquet.
Okay.
And that's going to be at the Anniston City Meeting Center on August the 18th. And tickets will probably go on sale this week, and we'll be using that money as part of, you know, the renovation process. And when I say part of, you know, there are things that we will need, like the rendering of the building, you know, leave behinds that we need to, you know, leave with people who may come to the city or come to the event to tell them about what it is that we are doing. There's so many little pieces, and that's where Jacksonville State, you know, because it's a university and they raise money, and and to have someone who can say, well, you know, we need this in place, and to have the people in the community to back you, you know, people outside of the community, people who really want to see Hobson City grow.
You know, are you thinking in terms of a small business incubator in that building?
Yes, absolutely.
See, I think that's great. You know, the SBA has lots of low-cost, you know, capital programs for minority-owned businesses, and I think a minority-owned business incubator in Hobson City would be legendary.
And you know, absolutely. And we have a lot of people who operate from the kitchen, you know, operate from the bedroom. I used to do the same thing, you know, operate from the trunk of the car. And we would like to invite those people to come and be established there in that building and to really learn how to grow their business.
Right.
They can be more successful and they can help the city as well. And really grow. I think sometimes people are afraid of taking that leap. They're afraid to go out and rent a building. But if you can come where you can have that shared space and do some things, and also I know I've spoken with the person up at JSU in the business department, and my brother who's in business for himself has gotten a lot of help from them. And so we try to encourage people to use, you know, JSU's Business Development Center.
Of course.
Because they have an excellent program, and they do a great job in helping our people.
They do, and we have great resources here at the Chamber. They've got a small business group there, and I know the guy that's in charge of Alabama's small business administration stuff for the state.
You know
Okay,
everyone.
so
I know everyone, not really, but I know that guy.
Right.
And we might be able to get that guy interested if that's the direction you want to go in. So that's really, you know, that's exciting. And
It is.
that's what I mean when you get these small communities that start to flower, it generates excitement.
It does.
And that just helps the overall community.
It does.
And you're right about the school. When you close a school and remove it from a community, that just, you're pulling the heart out of a community when you
It
do that.
devastates it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it just makes it harder.
And nothing replaces the school. It's nothing like the school. There's
Right.
no other institution like the school, and it impacts everything else in that community.
Well, Hobson City's going to grow. I just know it.
It is.
With
It
your
is.
leadership and all of the good people over there that are working hard to make it happen, you guys are going to rise
Yes.
again
We are. We
because
are.
it is historically significant.
And
Me being from Connecticut, when I came down here and first learned of Hobson City and learned the history, I was totally amazed. It was hugely impactful for me from a historical standpoint. And
Some of the nicest people you'll ever meet
Oh,
in
yeah.
your life.
wonderful folks out
Yes,
there.
absolutely.
Well, anyway, we appreciate you being on the show.
Okay, and,
those tickets will come on sale sometime in the next few
sometime this
weeks.
week, uh-huh.
Okay, well, you'll be back on to tell us how to get a hold of those.
I'll be back next week if you have me.
I'll have you back certainly soon. Well, we
So
thank you for.
well, so I can get Jennifer on here. And,
We'll get Jennifer on
as well,
here.
and
Okay.
we'll talk about our tourism plan the next time.
Oh,
So
yes,
that's something that's
outstanding.
really
It's awesome.
great.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being with us. And we'll be right back with the Crime Stoppers portion of our show and Ronnie's Crazy Criminals. And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to help us with these following cases. First up, on April 22nd, a silver Saturn was broken into at the Bridges Youth Sports Complex on Pattyway Drive in Alexandria. A backpack containing an iPad 8th generation was taken from that vehicle. And sometime between April 12th and April 13th, a 2016 silver Dodge Charger with a black hood was stolen off the shoulder of I-20 in East Oxford. And if you have any information on these cases, give Crime Stoppers a call. That number 1-833-251-7867.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Ronnie, you know what time it is again?
Deja vu?
Again, all
Again.
over again. It's Crazy Criminal time. So take us there, Skitch.
Well, the guy you see up there, that's Justin Savoy.
He's the heir to the Savoy hotels.
I'm sure he is.
Nice looking picture.
It is a good picture. I like his hair. Nice little flip
I
up
like
there.
that faded background look.
So Mr. Savoy was arrested last December. Marijuana, drugs, paraphernalia located on him. Also some guns. When they got him to the jail, they found a gun hidden in the cheekiest of places. It was a loaded .25 caliber handgun that was still on him. They couldn't find it during the initial search, so once they searched him again at the jail, they decided to find it. And he was in a messy situation at that time.
No doubt. So it had to be a fairly small weapon.
2.5 inch long barrel, about 4 inches in length overall.
Huh.
Yeah.
That could have really wrecked him.
I'm sure it did.
Wow. Well, I'm glad he was caught. Those are the funny things that, I don't know how funny that is. Those are the things we find in the jail.
It is.
Technology helps with that, but nothing is like the good old-fashioned bend over and cough.
Sometimes you just got to be hands-on.
Sometimes you do. And speaking of hands-on, Ronnie, you're always a good hand on board here.
I enjoy it
We
very
like
much.
having you come down, and we know that you're doing a great job over there. What are you in charge of these days?
Special operations. I'm over investigations, SROs, narcotics warrants,
Spec Ops.
spec ops.
That's pretty cool. Lieutenant Ronnie Murray here with us from the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office, and we appreciate you guys being with us week in and week out. Please take a look at our lineups and our cases and give Crime Stoppers a call. And we look forward to next week when maybe Ronnie will be back. And we hope to see you next week, but not in the lineup, here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.